My audio really quick. LAPD in hot pursuit here.
Yo!
Disney's Zootopia 2 arrives in theaters just in time for the holidays.
Pops and Wild.
The Dream Team. Are you ready for the fur?
Later on today. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? We are popping and locking like there ain't no dropping it. Pose and there ain't no stopping it. I gotta open my mic up like there ain't no popping it. What? Why ain't the camera coming on? Man, I might have burned it up last night. Left it on or something. Come on now. There it is. Had to reset it. There it is. Had to reset it. Sometimes it gets messed up like that. How we doing? People in the live. People in the live. Ain't gonna tell no lies. I can't tell no lies. We're up. We are at it this morning. We have some stuff we gotta get done today. Like telling how much these people crazy.
The stolen vehicle, that is an LAPD Olympic unit that has just picked up this pursuit. This has been going on for some time as they were in pursuit earlier and eventually put it into tracking mode. The helicopter was overhead and eventually they just let these two go.
How long do you think it's going to be before we actually get AI
and a passenger?
news?
But again, in the last couple of minutes, they have just re-engaged with these suspects for this confirmed grand theft auto situation, who is now speeding away away from that lead officer.
He's like, I ain't still
there. He's already called for a backup unit. He's calling for an air unit who is on the way over here to help call out the location of this pursuit. So they're getting their ducks lined up in a row here. But as you can see, pretty congested traffic here on Olympic Boulevard in Mid-City as he squeezes through these cars. Look at that. LAPD trying to squeeze through with him through these busy intersections. And he's starting to put a little bit of distance between himself and that primary unit. But again, he's been driving mostly with the speed limit up until this unit lit him up just about 2 minutes ago. And now, once again, blowing through red lights. We've seen already in the last couple of minutes a couple of really close calls as he continues to refuse to pull over. So we have a male driver. I think it is a female passenger. They actually stepped out of the vehicle.
So he got his girl
I don't know
with
what
him.
they were doing earlier, but then we saw them get back into this vehicle. So I know those windows are pretty heavily tinted, but from what we can tell, from what we've been able to gather here, it's a male driver, a female passenger in the stolen car, LAPD trying to catch up with these two.
Yeah, Chris, great coverage there from Air 7. This is now westbound on Olympic. Mark Cotterobles here and Colleen Sullivan as well on the desk. Very dangerous driving. Colleen, we saw when Air 7 initially got overhead with Chris. We did see that moment as well when the driver and passenger were out of the car. And Chris, I got to tell you, they looked young, maybe teenagers. So certainly a dangerous situation. And I got to assume that maybe that will come into play with police and how they handle this situation.
Well, they did appear young. I mean, they did. They almost appeared to be juvenile age.
We are in a new day and age, people. We are in a new day and age of these kids thinking they can do and act like the ones that we as in citizens, okay? They don't follow the same rules as us as citizens. So they think, they see it on TV, they think it's cool. That teenagers and young kids are very impressionable. That means you can put an impact on them. You don't know about at that time. They don't think about it at that time. But it's an impact nonetheless that they're subconsciously getting. And it sucks for our youth that it's got to be like that. But we as adults need to show the kids a better way of living. A better way. Gotta be found. A better way has to be found.
Again, what else they may be wanted for, what other crimes may be associated with these two. Is it simply just a joyride in a vehicle that does not belong to them? Was it actually stolen from a stranger, or was this taken by the parents?
In fact, in Maryland, joyride will hold your concealed carry permit. They would not let you get it. My wife had a joyride as a teenager on her record, and they denied her right to bear arms and carry firearms because of that.
Parents without permission, those are all some of the questions that we have to ask to decide, how urgently LAPD wants to catch up with them. Again, they have information we don't, but the fact that they have re-engaged may tell us something. Now, they did let it go for a reason. They felt like it was just not serious enough or not worth the risk to keep pursuing. But when you see them pick it up again, is it because they've seen something or learned something about these two that makes it more dangerous?
They probably got charges.
Were they tempted to pick this pursuit up because they know that the news media was following? That is potentially part of the equation here. There's lots of things that go into the supervisor and the watch commander's decision to continue these pursuits, when to halt them, when to put it into surveillance mode, when to pick it up again.
If that's all it is
really
two kids just joyriding.
A lot of calculus that goes on into these decisions.
But they got better things to solve.
They are now rededicating themselves to this pursuit, and the more they follow him, you can see the more speed he picks up. And I would say it's suffice to say he is driving dangerously now as he continues westbound on Olympic Boulevard.
Absolutely dangerous driving conditions right there. And it makes you very nervous because you do see a lot of cars out there. I'm holding my breath as this driver goes through intersections because this person is definitely not stopping, not yielding. And we saw as we were in tracking mode, we saw the driver being calm. Now it's, Chris, this does not look like it's going to have a good ending.
Especially if he continues blowing through these red lights. In fact, it does appear that primary unit may have pulled back a little bit, Rob. When you get a chance, I just want to see how far back he is. He's about a block back. You can see him coming up, racing along the median. That officer now is in oncoming lanes of traffic, going over the double yellow lines, trying desperately to catch up with that silver sedan. Right now, that primary unit, Colleen, Mark, is by himself. He is still waiting for backup, still waiting for a secondary unit to help him in this pursuit. But right now, he is by himself. And Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, is that airship back here, or is he is back? Okay, so airship number 3 has just pulled up here, so he does have eyes in the sky helping him coordinate.
Airship
but
number
they do not have enough backup.
So they got 3 helos
straddles
out there.
Those double yellow lines going into oncoming lanes of traffic on a very busy Olympic Boulevard, continuing to blow through red lights. This does not look like it's going to end well, to your point, Mark.
Yeah, very dangerous driving. You got the red lights and the stop signs that this driver is now blowing through. Adding to that, for what it's worth, I've seen multiple Waymos as well. This is one of the areas of LA where Waymos, those driverless cars, are allowed. That's another factor involved, that maybe they don't have, the same ability to avoid a vehicle like this as a driver would. So many concerning factors at play with this pursuit. We're coming up on 3 p.m. You, of course, are watching this live breaking coverage on our streaming channel, and you just want these two to stop the car, give it up, because this is just way too dangerous.
And I don't know if you saw in that intersection just a moment ago in the crosswalk, Chris, you may have witnessed somebody just starting to run through that crosswalk. They were in the crosswalk, a marked crosswalk, but it looked like they had something, and now you can see this driver is just doing everything it can to get out of the way of these police cars. And it's in oncoming traffic. Oh, going to take a side street.
And that move was right in front of that Waymo that I was mentioning. So certainly a wild ride, an experience for maybe passengers in these vehicles, because you get to certain parts of town and they really are kind of loaded with those cars.
You
very, very concerning. You worry so much about pedestrians. It's now after school, so people leaving school in the street. This is definitely an added concern for police and the public right now.
A 13-year-old kid growing up in an urban area.
Yeah, especially as he starts zigzagging through this residential neighborhood, much narrower streets, going a little bit slower, but he picks up steam again. He may not feel the pressure right now because he doesn't see that primary unit behind him. But look at him now, he is picking up a little bit of speed here now on South Cannon Drive at Charlottesville Boulevard.
I grew up way faster than I should have.
Now on Cannon Drive, heading into West Hollywood here, adjacent to Beverly Hills, and LAPD still a distance away here. And you're right, we have seen a large number of Waymos just in the last 5 or 10 minutes. We're really testing those Waymo reflexes as he cut off that Waymo and then snaked around traffic to find that side street and end up now just a few blocks north on Wilshire Boulevard, now going eastbound, making a screwy U-ey on Wilshire, now going back westbound on Wilshire Boulevard. We're on Wilshire at Cannon. Again, 2 suspects inside this car believed to be stolen. LAPD trying to catch up. The airship overhead calling out the location. And look at that black and white. He has been able to make his way up here on Wilshire with backup. There's the airship. A full pursuit package now in place to continue to safely pursue this suspect as long as he is driving at manageable speed. Beverly Hills PD also monitoring this pursuit. Likely just keeping an eye on it as it passes through their jurisdiction, but you can see we're now at a very busy intersection with pedestrians crossing, and this suspect really has no trouble cutting other people off at
all he's doing is driving.
And it really is erratic driving that we're seeing.
I'm thinking about this area of Beverly Hills. There's so many shoppers out. Again, at this time of day, so many people out and about, so dangerous. Again, a lot of people don't even pay attention to something like this. I guess when you hear the helicopters overhead, but you can see this driver is taking such extreme risks. You can see people, they don't realize that something's happening. But there is something so dangerous happening right before them, and to see this driver, it would just scare the living daylights out of me if I saw this.
Those 2 women had no idea what was coming through the crosswalk, so thank goodness the driver slowed down. But right here, essentially in the heart of Beverly Hills, I think just past the Rodeo Drive shopping district. And Chris, let me ask you, you've had great camera work here from Air 7. The damage there on the right front fender, it seemed like earlier there was even some damage to the left front wheel as well, or something hanging. Since you've been overhead, have you seen any contact with
ARP got Draco on it. ARP got bacon on it. ARP got your head laying on the mountain like a steak on it. Come on, I hate when my stuff freezes up. Computer, internet is Bonzito with the Hito from Queens.
Other vehicles?
Great question. I was not aware of the damage, but now as we push in really closely on that front right fender, you can see that damage that you're speaking of. I do not know, to answer your question, whether that occurred during this pursuit, whether it happened today, whether it was there previously. I can tell you, to answer your question more specifically, we've seen a number of close calls, but as far as I could tell, no clear collisions. But look at right here, he's threading the needle here, colliding with those those stick cones and coming within inches of other motorists.
Boom.
Yeah, we're getting very close to our 3 o'clock hour right now as we follow this pursuit. But again, we are watching this driver on Wilshire Boulevard take extreme moves to not be caught.
Okay, stay with us. You're on our streaming coverage, and we are moments away from beginning Eyewitness News at 3 p.m. We will continue our coverage. Stay with us.
Yes, we'll be right back with the live.
This is
at 3 p.m. We will continue
with live breaking news.
We are following breaking news right now, a very dangerous pursuit. Let's go to Air 7 and Chris Christie for the details. Chris?
Lost it.
All right, we're following this pursuit. Chris, I'm not sure if you hear us, but I'm Colleen Sullivan along with Mark Cotorobles. Chris Christie, we've been monitoring this pursuit. We saw the LAPD re-engage moments ago. This has taken such a dangerous turn.
Okay, we'll pause as Chris Christie gets his audio connection to us, but we are watching this silver Ford sedan right there in the middle lanes. Colleen, moments ago, this passed through the Beverly Hills area, now into Westwood on Wilshire and Beverly Glen right now. Very concerning. What we have right now is a young male driver and a young female in the passenger seat. We saw a video earlier when they actually...
Come on, man. Why's my internet got to be cooked like this, bro? What is going on, really? Like, why my shit got to catch up? Not catch up. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, bro. You know what I mean, blood. LA Lockroom. Come on, man. Play the damn thing. Get pissed off here now. Damn it, man. Work. Please work.
Actually stepped out of the car, and Colleen, these appear to be juveniles, teenagers, and police right now in pursuit.
Did it a freaking again, man. All I'm trying to do is just open it, man. Like to expand it.
Pursuit again. At one point, they did pull back, even stopped tracking the pursuit. They have since, within the past few minutes.
This is starting to get on my nerves, man. It's got to be the dang. It ain't freaking internet. It's a freaking computer. Gotta be. Gotta be. Gotta be. Somebody can help me. Anybody on the chat can help me. Anybody on the set can help me.
Have now re-engaged, and of course we are overhead and working to get Chris Christie back connected to us to get his vantage point on what he's seeing. Chris, can you hear us now?
Can you hear us now, Chris?
Mark, I've got you.
Okay.
I've got you.
Take
Sorry
it from here.
about that.
You know,
We're working
what
on
are you
some technical
seeing?
issues up here.
So much of the
Why is my shit lagging like this, man? Come on. This don't never happen. Can't watch all that. Can't watch all that. Well, gonna have to watch. Gonna have to watch. Gonna have to watch. History. Right here. LA logarithm.
So much of the concern there we saw a moment ago were the crosswalks and the pedestrians out there.
Yep, coming towards us once again, westbound Wilshire Boulevard through Westwood here, through the Wilshire corridor. LAPD with a full pursuit package behind the suspect with an airship overhead. However, they have pulled back ever so slightly because of the speeds here. So he's got a wide open Wilshire Boulevard after a number of really close calls in very congested traffic. Now he's encountering a little bit more pavement to play balls. So he's got a white chick. However, they have pulled back ever so slightly because of the speeds here. So he's got a wide open Wilshire Boulevard after a number of really close calls in very congested traffic. Now he's encountering a little bit more pavement to play with here. He's using full use of those lanes. He's really all over the place as he speeds through whatever cars are in his way. He's been blowing through red lights, blowing through stop signs. As we mentioned earlier, there is some damage to this vehicle that we do not know how that occurred. However, we do believe that this is a stolen vehicle. LAPD was in pursuit earlier this afternoon. They let it go, and just in the last 20 minutes have picked it up once again, and they are rededicating themselves to pulling these two off the road. At one point, the vehicle pulled over. Two suspects jumped out of the vehicle, a male and a female driver, very young in age, appeared to be either teenagers or young 20s, and eventually got back in the car as they attempted to flee police. And then once again, LAPD picked up the pursuit on Olympic Boulevard. Now, right next to this bus here, passing over subway construction on Wilshire Boulevard as we continue through West LA here. Now getting closer to the 405 freeway. I would venture to say they're going to go right under the 405. If they get on the 405, it's going to be jam-packed in both directions. But we will see what they decide to do here.
Get in a car with somebody
they will continue right underneath that 405 overpass. But maybe not. Look at this. They're getting on the freeway. Getting on the northbound side of the 405 freeway, which is jam-packed on a Thursday afternoon. This is not a smart move. This will allow LAPD to catch up with them rather quickly. CHP taking note, perhaps getting into place if LAPD that assistance. They can hand this off to California Highway Patrol. We will see how it plays out here. But now, I think considering all of the close calls and dangerous maneuvers that we've been witnessing here, guys, to see them this close as they're about to be with so much rush hour traffic and so many innocent commuters on the 405, I don't think this is something they're going to let go lightly. So they're going to try and catch up, especially once they have to slow down here. Right now, there's so much traffic, they're really making full use of that right shoulder. And that's only going to take them so far. Of course, they can continue on the shoulder right up the Sepulveda Pass, but at some point, law enforcement will catch up with them here, either LAPD or CHP. Somebody is going to catch up with these guys until they are completely boxed in. And that's where we're going to take a deep breath, because there is just so much other variables here in terms of other traffic and innocent motorists. Basically, at the top of the rush hour coming up here.
No doubt about it. And you can see them on the shoulder. It's a miracle that there's no construction work also happening here, because any person who drives this corridor knows that this area is so congested. And to see the driver taking such extreme measures to drive so quickly on this area, it's always full of traffic. Now they're actually going on the lanes. I'm thinking they're still staying on the 405 North. They didn't want to take the exit, Chris. But again, I'm surprised they're not encountering gridlock traffic, but I cannot wait for this car to pull over, because it is just, it's nerve-wracking to watch.
So many close calls. And Chris, let me ask you this. When it comes to tactics right now, back on the freeway, what are the chances that more likely to see a potential pit maneuver if they get closer? Is that more likely on the freeway, especially if the speeds are low? Or do they need all those cars cleared out of the way?
Yeah, with all those cars, a pit maneuver is completely off the table. If they can create a traffic break, you could start to think about the possibility of a spike strip, but not with this kind of traffic. There's just way too much traffic and way too many other motorists to even think about that. But a traffic break will be the first strategy. Right now, we don't even see much law enforcement behind him yet. That LAPD pursuit package is trying to catch up to him. In fact, I don't even see. Can you tell, Kyle, how far back they are? Do you see any black and whites back there? Because I have a feeling they might have lost him around Sunset. He bypassed that Sunset exit ramp and continued basically committing himself to this involvement pass until he gets to Skirball. There's really nowhere for him to get off.
Under the bridge and
thought
snatch
that would
somebody
allow law
else's whip.
enforcement to catch up with him, but I don't think they were able to, especially with all of this heavy traffic. So he's basically by himself on the surface. However, as he pulls into that carpool lane, he does have the LAPD airship keeping an eye on his every move. So while they are not directly behind him, they are above him. They are tracking him for all intents and purposes. This is basically in tracking mode.
I got to look this up, but in what
being,
year did they actually go from using police vehicles to helicopters? Like, I want to know that. Like, they're like, oh, shoot, we got enough money to buy a helo now.
With this pursuit,
let's buy a helicopter.
Asks for that assistance. So
we'll
see how it plays out here, but he is now all over that shoulder, now all the way over to the left, not even in a position to exit when he gets to Skirball. He's clearly going to end up in the San Fernando Valley.
Yeah, absolutely going to end up in the San Fernando Valley. Again, we're looking at some images on the right side of the screen where we're seeing the driver take extreme measures to not be pulled over earlier on Wilshire Boulevard in Rodeo. But again, we are on the 405.
Yes.
North, heading over the Sepulveda Pass, going past Getty Center Drive. So we know this area is very jam-packed, very busy, a lot of commuters. It is that time of day where kids are out of school, so I think about everybody who's on the road. But you don't see the CHP, you do not see law enforcement. So I feel like there's a false sense of security from a lot of the other commuters right now, not knowing why this driver is driving so erratically around them. It would make me so nervous if I saw this person. Especially
that moment when the driver was going right down the median or the shoulder of the freeway at a really high speed. Thank goodness no other vehicles were involved in that moment. An update, Colleen, to what you were saying. We are getting word now that things here could change. West Valley CHP has been notified about this, and so potentially they could get involved. Chris, let me ask you this. Between LAPD and CHP, do you notice a difference in tactics? Clearly, we're on the freeway now, but basically how they approach this.
So LAPD has notified CHP, and CHP is now basically seeing who's available, which units are available to essentially intercept this pursuit once they have an opportunity. They'll find out where the closest units are and eventually pull up behind him and light him up. What's interesting about the behavior behind the wheel here is that ever since he's basically been on the 405, it has not slowed him down or really had a major impact on his driving. Even though there's really nobody behind him, you would think he would feel some of that pressure come off. If he looks in his rearview mirror, he's basically just blending in with the rest of traffic here. And you would think that maybe if we're lucky, he would slow down. He's slowing down maybe a little bit, just with the flow of traffic. Essentially, he was going a little faster on the shoulder. But he's still driving erratically, still coming within inches of other vehicles and weaving all over those double yellow lines right there in the HOV lane where he's got, not a whole lot of room. He's not giving himself a whole lot of room as he makes these lane changes. So if the driving continues, CHP will be more motivated to get this person off the road, aside from the fact that it's a Grand Theft Auto suspect who they want to catch here. So LAPD has units also in the San Fernando Valley. Obviously, he's still going to be in LAPD's jurisdiction, but on the freeway, California Highway Patrol best equipped to pick up this pursuit, and they are now getting those ducks lined up. So we'll see as he continues northbound on the 405 freeway, crossing back into the main lane. It could be worse through this section of the 405, but in the next half mile, it's going to come to a dead stop, and he's going to have virtually nowhere to go other than the shoulder.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the CHP are not right there because we see them underneath overpasses so many times, and they sit there, they wait, they're very quick on these pursuits. So I am amazed that we haven't seen a CHP engage in this. But again, we know there are so many moving parts to our freeway system just in general for their watch commander to say, all right, we have a pursuit, and then as you know, Chris, there's so many CHP officers in the vicinity that then one person takes the lead, and then I don't know how they coordinate with all the other CHP officers.
Yeah, you can.
Right. Well, they have, obviously they're doing other things. They're responding to other calls. They're traffic, they're conducting traffic stops. They're monitoring construction sites. So they've got to take whoever's available essentially and dispatch them to this location. So it'll start with a primary unit who can at least get behind him and probably wait until those backup units arrive before they even light them up. Or sometimes, if they're a little more aggressive, they will just try and pull the suspect over. This person obviously has no intention of pulling over. I would imagine at some point, guys, he's going to get tired of fighting this traffic, and if he feels a little bit less pressure, he may just get off at maybe Ventura Boulevard or somewhere up here in the valley. He'll have a lot of exits to choose from once he comes out on the other side here. So I think that's what he's going to prepare to do here. But right now, he is fairly committed to that left shoulder where he's going to have to pull over all the way across those 5 or 6 lanes to get over to any of these exits. But you can see, just in the last few minutes, all of that traffic has slowed down considerably as he makes his way into the Sherman Oaks area. As I look off the nose up towards Van Nuys, it really is bumper to bumper. The further north he gets, a lot of folks heading home northbound 405 through the San Fernando Valley on a Thursday afternoon. This suspect, I think, is going to be motivated to get out of all of this traffic.
Absolutely. And there are moments right here watching with your video from Air 7. I mean, he has been inches away from some of these vehicles passing on the shoulder, if not maybe even making very light contact. So concerning to see that. And Chris, talking about the possibilities here of what does he do next? And you talk about Sepulveda Boulevard, or Ventura Boulevard, if he gets off like in Sherman Oaks or Encino, how dangerous that would be to pedestrians, the amount of people that are